Welcome to Experience Easier Now, the podcast. Join us each episode as we do a deep dive with agents to identify how to make life easier for them through technology.
I'm Michelle Houze. I'm with Launch Real Estate, and I've been in the industry about 15 years. What gets me excited about the industry is I love helping people. I love the challenge of finding the right place, the right lender, the right terms. I love to negotiate. It's a big thing for me. But I think even part of it is, I think as realtors, a lot of us kind of get that voyeur, right? Like you get to go into people's homes, you get to see how they decorate, you get to see, it's just, you can see how people live. So there's all aspects of it that I love.
How is tech helping you in your day-to-day work?
So I got into the industry, like really into it full time during the crash. And in order to eke out a living, I went after short sales. That's how I did business back then. And it's just changed so much technology-wise with just the advent of things like DocuSign. I've gone from being having files laid out on my desk to being 100% paper-free, which has been incredible. I don't have to scan and fax things to people. I don't even have a fax number anymore. So those things have been really great. There's also things, it seems like everybody in this industry has an app for what they do. Our sign people, it's on an app. I don't have to make a phone call. I don't have to send an email. I get on their app. I order my signs up. I order my signs down. HomeSnap. I use HomeSnap more so to investigate people I'm doing business with. I like to know who I'm dealing with, how many deals they've done, what kind of agent they are. Kind of gives me an insight into how the transaction's going to go. But all of us, smartphones. When I got in, I think we were past flip phones, but we still had the little teeny tiny. I can do everything from my phone. I can do anything I need to from anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, and it can be seamless. And that is what, technology has it's enabled me to live the life I want to live, for sure.
So what are some of the technologies that you're using in your business?
There's quite a few that I use day to day. Dropbox has been incredible. I have a full-time assistant. She works from home. So the ability to drop something into a file on my laptop or my desktop and have her be able to use it has been incredible. DocuSign, again, it's out-of-state clients, even clients that, most people now, they don't want to meet you to sign. They don't want to take time to sign it. They want you to tell them what's on the contract, just send it to me, I'll sign it. So those things have been really great. I use Cromford Report a lot. It gives me great insight into what's going on in the market, what's going on into specific zip codes. If I have a listing, I can go to that and I can see how many days the average is on market, what's happened since last month, what's happened since last year. So I use that. The MLS, oddly enough, has got a really great add-on packet with a product called Remind, where you can do farming, and Remind will go in and it will tell you who in that neighborhood is the most likely to sell in the next year, 6 months, 18 months, whatever it is. There used to be a mailing company that did that, where they would mail out postcards based on that, but it was very, very expensive. And so I can go into Remind, I can pull my own farm, and it'll pull up and say, hey, these are your most likely, these are the people you need to pay attention to. Included in that MLS thing is Rapid Stats, which is similar to Cromford Report, much, much easier to use, much easier user interface. You literally just go in and drop in the zip code, what kind of property you're looking for, and it will pull all the stats for you. And that one is super easy for your clients to read too. So when I do listing presentations, I include that in there so they can see what's going on. So those are the things that I use pretty much day to day in my business. Generally, I use those reports for listings. I also use them for buyers sometimes to get a buyer on board to say, hey, listen, that offer's not going to fly because of this. That's really helpful because buyers don't understand that right now we are at an incredibly low amount of inventory, and getting concessions right now and getting 10% off sales price and all of these other things just isn't happening. And so I will use those as sales guides more than scheduling guides, because I think by nature people are very visual, and if they can see it, then they can understand it. I will plan my vacations, my scheduling. I plan them in advance because I learned long ago if it's not on the schedule, it does not happen. It gets pushed off. But what I have done is, I do a magazine every month, and in that magazine I have all of the stats, and I have them very graphic. And it's good for me because right now we're at something like 2.1 months of inventory. It's crazy. It's crazy out there. So right now, obviously that right there just motivates me to go after listings, right? Because low inventory, you want to list. But I use them more for knowledge with my clients than I do for scheduling.
Where would your business be without technology?
There is, without a doubt, no way that I could do what I'm doing now without technology. I think last year I did close to 60 transactions on my own. And if I didn't have Dropbox where my assistant could help me with this and not have to be by my side, if I had to be driving all over town to get signatures, things like that, there's no way that I could have done the volume that I do now if it weren't for technology. There's no doubt in my mind.
How's technology progressed your business? Is it speeding the process up?
First we had the fax machine, then we had the fax number where you didn't need the machine, right? You just did it through your computer. And now you don't even need fax at all anymore. I mean, I can literally get on the app on my phone for Dropbox, or I think even DocuSign, and take a picture of a document and upload it for things. I don't even need to be near a scanner anymore, which is just incredible. That it's really a lot of the bulky, cumbersome machines and things that we used to have in our offices. And on top of that, just laptops, the advent of laptops. I have a home office in my home with not two PCs, but with two Macs on it on my desk, and I don't even go in there anymore. I literally sit at my kitchen counter with my laptop, and I shoot everything between all of my different computers, and I don't even have to get up from my seat to print anymore because I just have wireless printing. Like, it's crazy how much things have changed. So I think it does a multitude of things. Yeah, it saves me a ton of time. I don't have to drop what I'm doing to go somewhere else. I don't have to drive across the valley. I don't have to. It saves me an incredible amount of time that I can focus on other clients, family, friends, my husband, whatever it could be. It also is a lot less expensive. I don't have to buy all of those, big copiers and although I still have them, I do a lot of printing at home too. I love that I can take a picture, shoot it off. I love that I don't have to get up. It saves me everything. It saves me peace of mind. It saves my sanity, because I'm a go kind of a person, and I tend to take on a lot. And when I get to that point where I feel like I have all the balls up in the air, and if I just step to the right a little bit, they're all going to come down, it helps me with that because I don't feel the pressure so much.
How important is time in your business?
So there's a lot of really stressful times in this business where you literally have deadlines that are looming. Things like, sometimes it's silly things that could be taken care of very easily, but there are times when I might be out with a client in the middle of 5 or 6 showings and having a closing the next day, and the lender calls and says, hey, I didn't get an addendum with that $5,000 credit on it, I need it right away because we're going into final underwriting and they need to sign docs in the morning. I can't drop my client, right, and run it across town, but I can certainly pick up my phone and shoot it off on an email. There are times when you're down to the wire on Binzer repairs, you know, and you're representing one of the parties and you're literally like, okay, this needs to get signed or you're going to lose your earnest money or you're not going to get your repairs done or whatever it could be. Having to not jump in my car, drive across town, have somebody else do it, have them meet me at a Jack in the Box somewhere to get signatures. That is the stuff that really helps with stress levels, because the stress is still there because, oh my God, they need this addendum, and you know what I mean? But in 2 seconds, it's taken care of, instead of you trying to think, how am I going to finish these showings with this client? And then, oh my God, what if this client wants to write an offer on this property, but I have to go do this? And it just, it helps with that. Technology has just really helped that a lot.
Do you think there's a need for better technology in the industry?
Technology is still not perfect, right? It's still sometimes cumbersome. You know, it still sometimes doesn't work. I really think that it's not done yet. It's going to keep going. I think a lot of voice recognition stuff is what, you know, I have finally started using. I use Siri for everything. You know, I'm driving, Siri types my emails, Siri sends my text messages, Siri checks my texts for me. I use Siri for everything. And I think that that's the way that a lot of apps are going to start going, is going to be voice recognition technology. And if they can get it so that, because Siri is not perfect, I send out stuff sometimes and I'm like, oh my gosh. But if they can get it to a point where it really does understand what you're saying, it's going to make life so much easier to just be able to, you know, get on an MLS app and say, hey Siri, schedule, you know, go into so-and-so's portal and schedule appointments at their favorite, you know, at their favorites in, you know, in geographical order, and just have Siri shoot that out or something like that. But I think voice recognition technology is really the way of the future, and I think it will make life so much easier, not just for realtors, but for everybody. But it will also free up more time so that agents can give their clients more personal attention.
Thank you for joining us on Experience Easier Now. We hope you've learned something new that agents are doing using technology to make their life easier.